it perfectly accommodates 2 crates of beer. Welcome everybody on Car Rambler channel. Today car is Fiat Cinquecento. You might know the Fiat Cinquecento, that it was produced from 1993, which is obviously not correct, because this car was the license for the car was acquired by a communist party government in Poland in late 80s and beginning of the 90s. So the car was produced from 1991 in Poland, and as it was supposed to be a licensed car, the name of the car was not Fiat Cinquecento, but at the beginning it was FSM. It's a shortcut from factory of small capacity engine cars, let's say. So first 3 years, 1991, 1992 and 1993, the cars were delivered with this badge here, so technically they were not Fiats. In 1993 Fiat had acquired the company of Polish Fiat, the factory, and since 1993, end of the 1993, beginning of the 1994, the European expansion of this car, so it was delivered to other countries like Germany, United Kingdom, started, and also since then the car was sold in Europe as Fiat Cinquecento. So from outside the car reminds a cube. It's nearly exactly the same weight than height, so it's nearly the same. And if you need to build a small car like this one that is about 3 meters 20, and you want to have maximum space inside, then the perfect shape is a cube. It's not that pretty, it's not that fancy, but it's very practical. If you look at the side of the car, it's nearly straight up line, nearly a cube. So the car is perfectly using its space. And looking at the parking lot here, you can think about it, how small this car is. So inside the car, it's a pretty nice interior from time perspective said. Those steps here with different functionalities. So first one, the biggest, the widest one, allows you to turn on the heating fan, change the temperature, and activate the rear window heating and fog lights. Above it you can change the direction of the airflow. You can activate the rear window washer and washer fluid engine. So this is the next step, and above we have a digital clock. Here we have place for a radio, ashtray. As you can see, there is no lighter, so you have to have your own one. It was possible to buy Cinquecento with electric powered windows. If so, then the switches would be here for the right side and here for the left side. Overall, pretty comfortable and spacey interior for the size of the car. Also this nice place to put your belongings is there, and also a smaller one underneath, so everything you might need is here. Comparing to Fiat Cinquecento, it's a little bit more difficult to handle, a little bit more difficult here to operate everything, because for example, if you want to turn the lights on, then you have to use this switch, and also you have this switch for the long beam lights. So This is it. It's really easy to use this switch instead of the blinker switch. So this is something I didn't like here, and they are very close, and this one is really easier to reach. So this is an error here. And also, if you compare it with Cinquecento was very easy designed here. Everything was that so very easy to find and easy to operate. Here it's like a little bit more complicated, but it's late 90s, late 80s, early 90s. This was how the cars were done back then. Okay, so let's try to sit on the rear bench. Hop. Czy mi się to uda? So behind, it was not easy to close the seat. I'm 1.85 m and it's really hard to sit here, so I have to push my legs outside the chair, but the couch is comfortable. I have not enough place for my head, so I have to bend myself like a little bit. You can find an ashtray here for cigarettes. Early 90s, everyone were using that, so it's here. Cinquecento is a pure car. It purely gives you what you need, nothing more. So you have everything here that you might need while driving a car, and nothing more. This is pure car, pure mobility, pure experience of a motorism of a car. So let's have a look inside to the trunk. It's tiny, it's very little, but it's perfect. In German newspapers, car newspapers, you could read that it perfectly accommodates 2 crates of beer. So perfectly 2 crates of beer, you are able to put them here inside. So this is a perfect size, in my opinion, for a luggage compartment of the car. So this little thing here, you might not know what it is. It was a very popular service in Poland in early 90s. It's true that there were many cars stolen, were stolen back then in that time. So the owner who wanted to preserve his car from not being stolen, gave it to a special company that placed this unique number on each part of the car, nearly each part of the car. So by disassembling the car and trying to sell the parts to someone else, he might notice that there is a number on it and maybe notify police station. The Cinquecento was also available as an electric car with a range of 70 kilometers. The battery pack was placed on the rear instead of the rear seat, so we wouldn't be able to sit here. It was a two-person car. The car was delivered with 5 gearbox, but in the city traffic you were able to drive it only on 3rd gear. The batteries had to be exchanged after 600 cycles. So after less than 50,000 kilometers you had to exchange the battery pack. The car was very heavy with the battery pack. It was 1.1 tons, 1,100 kilograms, and also the speed was not that good in that car. The range was not very good, and the price was 33,000 West Germany marks, where the base price for this model was 13,000 marks, so it was a huge gap. Plans of Fiat were to sell 500 cars per year. They managed only to produce and sell 100 cars with electric motor. Jeszcze jedna rzecz. So if you are not from Poland, you might know the 900 centimeters version, like this one. It was about 40 horsepower, and it was 4-piston engine. In Poland, mainly in Poland, there was also a 700 centimeters version with 2 cylinders. That was much weaker. The 900 version went from 0 to 100 in 13.8 seconds, where the 2-piston 700 centimeter engines needed nearly 30 seconds. So it was very slow. Okay. So, about the driving experience, you must remember that Cinquecento was designed to be a city car, and it must be judged as such. A small engine won't promise you very high speed on the highway, but if you need a car for city traffic to drive around the city from your workplace to home, and it's about few kilometers and you do them mainly in the bigger city traffic, then the small car will fit this rule perfectly. The position behind the wheel reminds me a little bit a chair, so you sit relatively high, and this was done on purpose because such a position allowed the constructors to shorten the place where the driver is sitting, so we take less place from the length of the car that is very limited. The gearbox is not that precise as you would expect, for example, in a Japanese car, so it takes a while to learn how to change the gears, but it's a very short one. The main issue, as I said before, is the indicator switch that is a little bit hidden, so you can easily make a mistake and use the long beam switch instead. Looking from the 1990s perspective, this was a really good offer. A small car for city traffic. In Western Europe, usually it was a second car in the family, so this car was perfect as such a car. So if you haven't already, please subscribe my channel if you wish to see more movies like this, and I will see you next time. Bye bye. So thanks for watching. If you haven't already, please subscribe my channel. There will be more cars coming, so stay tuned and see you next time. Bye bye.